Good morning, Service Alliance community.
Good morning.
Morning, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am awake.
We're, we're avoiding it. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing, Adam?
Oh,
Good morning, Adam. Today we're going to talk about perception.
Perception.
Perception's good. Morning, Joe. How are you guys? Let's see. People are starting to pop in here. We got to give them a few minutes and let them all wake up and join us.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
I did not want to wake up this morning.
Nah, yeah. It was a rough morning to get up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But hey, we're here. And
I was up late
we
on
match.
somebody's website too late.
We match. Our wives, I think, were talking last night or something, but
Yeah,
I think I dressed myself though. You dressed yourself, correct?
I did.
Yeah. So that's awkward. Yeah.
My wife does not dress me.
But we look good.
Well, speak for yourself. You look good. You look good. Where are you at? You're over here.
Man, okay, so Shayna's birthday was yesterday. And for her birthday, there was a bunch of us that went to go see Barbie. She is a Barbie person, right?
Okay.
As the song says, she's a Barbie girl. I'm a Barbie girl. Yeah, she's a Barbie girl. So there was like 20 of us that went to go see Barbie last night. And man, it was literally the weird. I've seen some weird movies. This was literally the weirdest movie I have ever seen in my life. Like, it was weird.
Probably could have told you just from the commercials I've seen.
Well, you know,
and probably wrapped the whole thing up for you before you even went.
There was definitely a political agenda behind it. That's, yeah, for sure. Oh my. Anyway, so yeah. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Orcan. I think that.
Just trying to read that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's David.
David. Okay.
But I
sure.
Can't remember. I might be confusing you. And of course, Saul. Good morning, Saul. Saul. I talked to Saul on the phone, and he answered, but he didn't say, "Hello, this is Saul." He didn't say it, real suave.
Yeah.
I think he needs to work on that.
Yeah. It's not suave. That's for sure.
Not suave, like Rico Suave. All right.
I'm trying to find a joke about perception, but yeah. There's just no good jokes about perception and reality, man. I'll tell you that. I know we're talking about perception today, and yeah, no good jokes. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's probably for the best.
I mean, I do have kind of a good one. Hey, this might help. Now you could probably see me better.
A little better.
I woke up with a bad headache this morning, so I've been trying to keep the lights a little dim.
Yeah, but let's just shine bright lights in your face. That'll
Woo!
always help.
See the blood vessels just popping. Yeah. So okay, maybe we should. Maybe if we get time at the end, I've got one that came to mind, but yeah, let's save it for the ending. So if you want to hear a really good, when somebody asks for some good advice, I usually give them this, especially maybe a young man who's maybe dating, might be a good way to put it. So if you want to hear something really good, I'll save it for the end. So don't forget to remind me about the time I went dancing. Okay.
Oh, can't wait to hear about this.
All right. So all right, we're talking about perception today, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a verse.
Okay.
That fits. But let's pray us in first.
Got it.
Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for everyone watching. I want to thank you for this group and this community. Help us with our perceptions, the way we perceive the world, the way we perceive you, the way we understand how the world works and how you truly designed it to work for your good. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So the verse today, Proverbs 12:15.
Proverbs 12:15. Okay.
Yeah, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice.
Gotcha.
Now, that goes a long way. How does that tie into perception? Because you can perceive things in a good way, you can perceive things in a bad way. It's all a mindset, right? So
True.
perception's a huge mindset issue, and I've had to overcome a lot of perception issues that I've had in years.
I still deal with it.
I'm like old now. So I'm like that old dog, new tricks situation where I'm kind of set in my ways, but I try really hard to not be. But my wife is great. She's always reminding me, you need to change your perception, Mike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang it. She's right.
I think Shayna's probably listening and probably would say the same. Yeah.
You know, and you know what? You know what the first biggest, as she's telling me all this stuff and she's helping me, she's a truly a good wife, helping me figure out, navigate life, right? And the one perception that I had to change immediately was my perception of her telling me to change my perception.
Oh, say that again. That's a mind blower.
Yeah. Because I was like, wow, she's actually right, but I can't tell her that. I can never admit that I'm wrong and she's right. I mean, like, that's not how marriage works, right?
No.
That's not what husbands do.
Never.
Yeah, so it's so always fun.
Yeah. Foolish. Looking up some words on Bible Hub. You don't use Bible Hub, check out Bible Hub. You can just go to biblehub.com, but it looks at root words and really kind of gets into just a whole different way to study. It can go back to like the Greek and Hebrew and Bible Hub. Just check it out whenever you're studying. Foolish. I've told a guy one time, he asked me how I was doing. I said, "Oh, man, I'm fantastic." He goes, "Shouldn't use that word." I'm like, "Why is that?" He goes, "Because fantastic comes from the root word of foolish or to be a fool. So when you say you're fantastic, you're saying you're a fool." I'm like, "I guess I'm fantastic then."
Wow, that's fantastic to know.
Yeah. I know, right?
I'd have to look that up.
But on the word fool, I don't see fantastic anywhere. So I'm gonna keep saying I'm fantastic.
It just doesn't sound right.
Nah. Yeah.
But people have been known to be wrong before.
No.
Lots of misinformation gets spread around, right?
All right.
So today our topic is understanding the customer's perception of value. So
interesting.
We're going to get into value propositions. We're going to get into customers' perceptions. And, you always hear the term perception is reality.
Yeah.
And I don't always agree with that term. Because I think it's such a temporary thing.
Yeah.
Because perceptions are what people have in the moment. But the reality is those perceptions can be easily changed.
True.
With information, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really agree that perception is reality, because people have wrong perceptions all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife tells me that all the time, like I said.
Yeah.
So I want everybody out there to start thinking. I want you to comment What examples do you have of customers misperceiving value
Hmm.
on anything? Like you're trying to get them to understand there's an actual value to the service that I'm providing, but they just don't get it. So, what's the challenges that you're experiencing with getting a customer to see the value or perceive the value that you think it is?
Yeah.
Your perception is different from theirs. And that's where things start to break down and have a problem. So therefore you have to educate them,
True.
and I think that's a lot about sales.
Yeah.
Sales is a lot about explaining the value
There's that dirty word
that's
again.
service.
Sales. Oh, that dirty word. I know Tiki loves we talked about that a few weeks back about sales and how we are salesmen. I like to say
Yeah.
being an honest service expert. That's my way of saying salesman. But in the long run, we are sales. We were salesmen at least one good time if you're married. So
Yeah, but that was a long sales process for a lot of us.
for a lot, yeah. Mine was about a 6-month process. So we were engaged at 6 months. So I always say it whenever my kids ask or teenagers ask, so why'd you guys get married so young? I'm like, oh, we were young, stupid, and horny. That's the easiest way to explain it. So talk about perception.
That was your value proposition.
Yeah. My big thing with as an electrician, building value, educating customer, and providing solutions. Those are 3 big things that when I'm mentoring other electricians or appliance guys or plumbers is those 3 things. Build value, educate the customer, provide solutions. Notice that's
Yes.
plural there, right? So the building value is this big part, that helps with the perception thing. I've got a homeowner's guide that I created that as I go through it, I can explain to them different services that I'm recommending. And so that helps to build that value and they can utilize that to talk with their spouse, later if they need to, or to help make a better educated decision. So perception.
Paul's
Perception.
got a comment. I feel setting expectations before moving forward will help with the way they perceive it, specifically when a job is expensive and only takes 5 minutes to fix. Letting them know it's a quick repair helps.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, it's all in the way you communicate. Perception can be changed with communication, with clear, concise communication. And you don't need to over talk and over explain things. I think as long as you're clear and concise and you have facts to back up what you're stating, you can change perception. In when we're talking about customers perceiving value, some people, you can just walk into their house and you already know their perception of value in general. I mean, their perception of value in their own life, in the things they have, how clean their house is. I mean, that goes a long way. Identifying someone's perception of value is pretty easy.
Yeah.
On the surface when you first walk into someone's home and see their cars. Are they filthy dirty or old rotted out cars, beat to crap? Maybe they don't value some things. Maybe they don't value things, but however, that also ties in with how they value a lot of things as a whole. Like if you see one junk car in the road or in the driveway, but the rest are nice, that's a little different story, right?
Yeah.
you got to look at the whole big picture when you're looking at a customer and trying to figure out what is the value perception that they have in general. Do
Yeah.
they value? Are they open to valuing things at a higher level? I
Yeah.
think that goes a
Even
long way.
even from the very first point of contact when they're calling you on your phones, how you're answering your phones and the value that you're giving them. So a lot of the companies that we work with, or even myself as an electrician, we have a dispatch fee or an evaluation fee to come out. And so building value in that fee, whatever you want to call it, some people call it a consultation fee to come out and actually meet with you. We always would give away a safety assessment along with that. So we would build value in that safety assessment. Well, what this includes is a trained service expert coming to your home with a mobile warehouse stocked with thousands of parts for on the spot repairs in your home or business. I'm not on the phones, but I can still quote this stuff because I did it for years. And so building value in that, so they see, oh, okay, so all of that is only $89. Yeah, exactly. Okay, sounds good. And then again, time frame wise, because people like to plan, how much time is this going to take? Well, to come out here and do the assessment and meet with you, that first part, and this is something that my company I would allow to say if they were asked that question. It's usually first part takes about 60 to 90 minutes. Do you have that much time? And me as the electrician, I would always reiterate that when I get there, when I'm going through and transitioning, is the aspect of setting that perception of how much time I'm going to need right now with your attention. 60 to 90 minutes. Do we have that much time or do we need to reschedule? So yeah, setting that perception of how much time you're going to need and what kind of value you're going to be getting from just even the small fee for me coming out today. As an appliance company, doing repairs, I see it all across the board from, I've seen $29 all the way up to $159 personally, from appliance repair companies to come out and do diagnostics. And it's the same thing, setting that expectation of what that customer is going to get from the very get go is pretty dang important.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's we're talking about the challenges of getting the perception of your pricing, right? Like Dan says here, some of the big pushbacks are what customers believe about costs and repairs needed due to YouTube and Amazon. I
Yeah.
agree with you, Dan. However, it can also go the other way.
Yep.
It's if your pricing is too low, you're setting the bad perception.
Yeah.
You whenever I look at services, I can see a wide range of pricing all over the board, like you said, 29 to 159. Now, if I'm looking at that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say there's no way I'm hiring that $29 guy
Yeah.
because he's just scrounging for freaking work. And that's not the guy I want. He's bottom of the barrel in my opinion. Just
Yeah.
based off of pricing. I don't have to even know the company.
Yeah.
I just know that they don't value their service, with the average rest of the pack.
Yeah.
So there's a definite perceived value in pricing, and it's hard to find that balance, right?
Yeah. Even heading those people off on the phones, because you get a lot of people calling around and just saying, well, I'm just looking to see how much the cost is. I'm looking for the cheapest person, right?
Mhm.
I never want to have that customer that's just calling around to get the cheapest person, at least from the get go. Now, if I'm talking with them one on one and I have objection handling classes I do, there's a simple fact of, am I bid number one? Am I bid number three? Where am I at in this? So there's a simple question to ask. And, how many bids were you looking to get when you get that objection thrown at you? And then you can
Mhm.
help with that understanding of, oh, okay, well, that's great. I'm not pushy. That's one of my biggest things as electrician. I never want to be pushy. So it's just a simple aspect of, okay, well, here's some things to look at as you're getting other bids and just being nice. That's another reason why I give multiple solutions, because if I have three different solutions laid out, it's like I just gave them three bids. So their perception is I really don't have to get any other bids because you gave me 3 different solutions here. Let's just go with this one and get it done. I'm here. I can do the work. So, yeah.
Yeah. That does help lower the barrier,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of I get it all the time. What's your hourly rate? Well, you're asking for a project. We're going to bill it by the project, not per hour. We're going to take that
Yeah.
into account, but it doesn't really work that way. So
Yeah.
a lot of times when I am right in line with say 3 other bids,
Yeah.
and I'm talking to the people, I actually ask them, okay, now you've talked to me and you've talked to the rest.
Mhm.
What value are they giving you beyond price?
Yeah.
And in what is your perceived value that you've already gathered
Yeah.
from our pack? And I flat out ask them, if I am not at the top of that list, I want you to tell me why you feel I'm not at the top of that list, because I
Yeah.
can't fix what I don't know is broken.
What
You
more
know
can I
what?
give you?
Yeah. So right there at that point in that decision making process, I'm showing them that I give a shit.
Yeah.
By asking them that question, and that alone can help you
Mhm.
boost your value proposition way up, because
Yeah.
now they know you care, where other companies may not have shown that you care about what their opinion of you is,
Yeah.
and ask them for their advice almost in a sub sense way.
Yeah. Value propositions, uh, your tagline can be a huge, unique value proposition, right? In getting people. So, like ours is do what you do best, let us do the rest, right? That's a simple aspect of, hey, as an electrician, I just want to be going, serving the customer, doing what I do best. You guys just take care of the phones and whatever else you can do. With you, simple reason why we went with you on our website that we were redesigned. We could do it in house, but you could do it better, right? Um, you're going to make it look better. So, what is your value proposition that people are seeing from a marketing standpoint from the very get go, right? In your, I almost said phone book advertising. That's how It's how long I've been teaching this stuff, right? So your phone books, believe it or not, people still use phone books in
They're
our
still
areas.
around.
They're
They are
still
still
around for
around.
some stupid reason. But in all your marketing on social media and stuff, what are people seeing? Are you tying your marketing back to your core values, right? There's this stupid trend going around on TikTok right now where people are doing this fake AI crap. So I had it pop in my brain yesterday. It's like, I'm going to do one of those videos, right? And so I'm talking to my marketing guy and I'm like, hey, I want to do one of these videos. He goes, okay, well, let's not jump because he's all the time. You need to do the trends, right? Look on the FYP and you need to be hitting those trends up so people are seeing you guys come across. I'm like, okay. He goes, but I don't know if I would do it. He goes, how are you tying it back to your marketing? How are you tying it back to your value proposition? How are you tying it back to your core values? So if you want to see it, right, you can go to TikTok, you can go to our My Office Help on Facebook as well and see it. Instagram, it's all on all those. But
Yeah.
it turned out really funny and it tied back to our core values of we've got one that's next level solutions and talking about cutting edge technology.
I'll
So
have to go watch it.
you have to go
Is it
check it
and
out.
it's a very recent video you posted?
Yeah, yesterday morning.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right, I'll have to check it out. I saw you post
it's
some stuff, but I was too busy. I just
yeah,
swiped.
it was good. It was good.
All right.
It's already got a lot of views on it too. So that's the cool thing. Anyway,
It says there's something about those $29 guys that I'd rather not have that customer.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
true. However, those $29 guys are the ones that are pushing and forcing those customers to have a bad perception
yeah,
about price. So they're actually a hindrance to you, Dan. They're
yeah,
they're not as much of a help. If you don't want the customer, you don't want the customer. Price shouldn't matter about having the customer or not. Um Because I mean, what if there were no $29 guys? What if everybody was $100 service call? Like everybody. You'd still have those customers, but they'd have no choice but to pay that $100 because there's nobody else, right?
Yeah.
You'd still have those customers that you don't want. So price plays no part at all in that. So
Yeah.
those $29 guys, they're setting that price perception.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong thing to do because
What
they're
is
the bottom of the
setting
barrel.
what is setting you apart? Even if you're all $100, you're all $100 to come out. What's setting you apart from that point? And shoe covers. If you guys aren't wearing shoe covers in people's homes, I call them floor savers. Get with my gal Tamiko over at shuby.com. Put a plug in for them.
Shuby.
Shuby.com, SHUBEE.com. Ask for Tamiko. I've been buying Shuby covers from her since 2004. When I met her, she's a bubbly gal. But are you wearing shoe covers? Do you have a uniform shirt with your logo? Are you wearing holy jeans, or are your jeans looking nice? Right? Uniform, that perception from the very get-go of what people first see of you actually isn't your uniform, it's your vehicle. When you first pull up and you go beyond that, again, going back to your phone call, what are they saying? What are they hearing? What are they seeing in your marketing, right? You get up there and you pull up in your truck. What's your truck look like? Is it just that plain Jane white van like everybody has? How are you getting set apart in your marketing, right? That's a huge part of it. How are you walking up to the door? Are you walking up to the door all humdrum and crap, another freaking service call I got to go on? Are you happy to be there, right? And smiling as you're walking up to the door? Did you just smoke a cigarette as you're walking up and you flick that cigarette in their yard? I mean, all this is perception that people can see as they're peeking out their window when you're walking up, right?
Yep.
When you get into the door, how do you greet them? Right? There's a whole aspect to this of not just. I mean, yeah, I could preach on this one for a little bit, but anyway.
Customers are often more willing to pay more for a service that they perceive to have high value.
Yeah.
So it makes that whole conversation much easier.
Yeah.
If they know enough about you and you've presented yourself as a high value company, your entire conversation and sales process is going to be so much easier.
Yeah.
Guarantees. I've found that out years ago.
Guarantees seem to be another one that some industries it seems to matter and some it doesn't. In the electrical world, it didn't seem to come across as much, but I still wanted to be the best one that had the best guarantees, right? So when everybody else was doing a 1-year guarantee, I went up to a 3-year guarantee. On my electrical panels, I was up to a 10-year guarantee if I had if I installed a surge protector with it. So a whole home surge protector, I do 10. Nobody around here would do 10-year guarantee on a panel. But how many times would you ever have to come back to change a part out in an electrical panel, right? It's very rare. In 25 years, I maybe changed out maybe 3 or 4 breakers and maybe 1 main breaker, on my dime. So think about all of the revenue that was brought in.
Is nothing, right?
Yeah, the cost is nothing. So give them that extra guarantee. If everybody else is in the appliance world is only giving them 30 days on whatever it may be, give them 60 days, give them 90 days. Say, hey, if this breaks within 3 months, give me a call, come back, we'll get it fixed. But make sure you're following up and you're putting in the good quality parts, right? To be able to do that. Or if you can, there's some things where somebody would want me to do a repair in like an old Federal Pacific panel, right? So if you've got a 25-year-old dishwasher, I'm not going to guarantee that for 60 days, 90 days. That conversation may need to be had. Really, this thing's on its last leg. You really need to get a new dishwasher. I can't warranty this past, 10 days or whatever it may be, but set yourself apart from your so-called competitors.
Yeah. And I mean, there's exceptions to the rule. Like you just said with warranty, you can say, I blanket offer this warranty, but in this situation, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people get hung up on that. And I see, I built so many different websites for so many different service companies. I see, the pricing ranges across the board, and I see the warranty coverage differences across the board. And it's like, wow, like there's like no standard.
Yeah.
There's no standard at all.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wild to me. You're all doing the same thing. You're all
Mhm.
using the same basic parts.
So what it comes
The only
down to
difference is,
is
you have an aftermarket.
yeah.
And sometimes the aftermarket have a longer warranty than the factory stuff. So I just don't understand. You know, I've I came from the automotive collision world, and that's a service company. When we were servicing a vehicle, and fixing a wrecked car, those the industry as a whole had a standard warranty process,
Mhm.
and very few people deviated from that standard, and it's just what became expected. And it wasn't like over the top, or anything like that, but the warranty, I d- I don't feel that the warranty itself is a major factor
Yeah.
in perceived value.
No. It's a
Unless
piece
your
of the pie.
warranty period is really under the standard, under what
Yeah.
everybody else in your area is. If you're average with everybody, I don't think that that's going to be as much of a deciding factor.
Yeah. It's a piece of the pie, but there's a lot that goes into a service call that so many guys are just not hitting on, that as an overall builds a lot of value.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
wish I
people want to know that they're going to be taken care of, and that you're
yeah.
there when they need you. And that, I think, our perception as service people might be that you correlate that with your warranty.
Mhm.
But I think that's where our perception could be a little skewed, because I think we're perceiving maybe what I think we're putting a perceived value ourselves on something and elevating it a little too high, where the
Mhm.
customer is elevating or lowering that perceived value on their end, and we're not in alignment. And the
Yeah.
whole thing is trying to get the perceived value between you and your customer aligned. Bring them up to what you perceive your value to be, and they're going to bring you up to what they perceive their value to be.
Yeah.
And I think once you get aligned with your customer base, that's where you'll make the most impact.
Yeah. Hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're out of time.
Okay,
Let's
so
wrap
do
this up. So
do we
let's
wanna
hear this joke
oh,
that you've got.
okay. So before Shane and I was dating, I was at this club, right? And I was looking real fly, and the music is pounding real loud. And I see this gal out on the dance floor. She's really good looking. So I walk up to her. The music's really loud. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting into it. And I said, "Excuse me, would you like to dance?" And she just looks at me. She's like, "No." I'm just flat turns me down in the middle of this really. So I said, "No, excuse me. I think you misheard me. I said you look fat in those pants."
Nice.
Perception, maybe. I don't know how we could deal with that.
Yeah. Either way, you're
Anyway,
not getting that dance.
not getting that dance. No,
So it didn't change your situation
no, I
by
still had to
changing the
walk away.
perception at all, right? The result was still the same, except now you
Yeah.
got a big red mark from her hand smacking your face.
Oh, anyway, well,
That's funny. All right, one more comment. Ooh. Value equals worth, desirability, usefulness, ethics, service, principles, benefit, standards, helpfulness, morals. Are we defining ourselves in this way? I think he meant.
yeah,
And do our customers know this? That is
yeah,
a very good comment.
Good one.
and a very good statement.
Yeah.
Definitely thought provoking. So,
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you on Thursday and Friday, and you'll see us next week on Tuesday.
There you
So
go.
be safe. Have a good day.
Have
Go
a
out
good
there
weekend.
and have some good perceptions.